Hi, this is Tom Reinecke, California motorcycle lawyer. Today we're going to be talking about motorcycle insurance. As you know, in California, every motorcyclist must have liability insurance, but not all insurance is the same. So today I'm going to talk about the types of motorcycle insurance, and then at the end, I'm going to give you my 5 best motorcycle insurance companies. Let's start with liability insurance. In California, you must have liability insurance. Usually it's called liability only, and it's a 1535 policy. This means you have $15,000 for one car that you hit, $30,000 per accident, and $5,000 of property damage coverage. Well, motorcyclists rarely cause property damage coverage. That's why so many insurance companies are in the motorcycle insurance game. You see commercials for Progressive and Geico. They're all trying to sell you motorcycle insurance, which is required, but they know they're not going to have to pay out any claims. When is the last time you heard of a motorcycle causing injury to anyone? The only time it happens in my 30 years of experience is where you hit another biker, or you hit a pedestrian, or you have a passenger that falls off. So it's very rare that you'll use your liability insurance coverage. The next type of insurance coverage is called collision coverage. Well, collision coverage pays for the damage to your bike if you get into a wreck or you drop your bike. The next type of insurance coverage is called comprehensive insurance. This covers everything that's not included in collision coverage. For example, if your bike is stolen or if it gets damaged by any other reason other than a collision. Well, this is important, especially if you have a high-end bike or a specialty bike, because California leads the United States in stolen bikes. So I recommend comprehensive insurance, especially if you have a high-end bike or a new bike. The next type of insurance coverage is called uninsured motorist coverage. That means if you get hit by a car that has no insurance, your insurance company steps in to pay for your injuries and damages. In California, technically it's required, but almost all insurance companies have you sign a waiver to release the uninsured motorist portion of your policy. I think uninsured motorist coverage is important because in California there are 4 million drivers that don't have insurance. In addition, when you sign up for uninsured motorist coverage, you can also sign up for what's called underinsured motorist coverage. That means if you get hit by someone who has a $15,000 policy, but your damages or injuries far exceed that, your underinsured motorist coverage may apply. Let me give you a brief example. Say, for example, you get hit by someone and you have a lot of medical bills, and the insurance company tenders or agrees to pay the $15,000. Well, if that's all there is, that's all there is, and you get $15,000. But if you have underinsured motorist coverage, say for an example, $25,000, then you get the difference between the $15,000 and the $25,000, or an additional $10,000 to pay for your damages and injuries. The importance of this is that your own insurance company steps into the shoes of the defendant, and they fight it just as if you're going against another third party. Another important part about uninsured motorist coverage and underinsured motorist coverage is if you're involved in a hit-and-run motorcycle accident. Someone on the 91 freeway or the 805 changes lanes and takes you out and takes off, and you're down on the ground. To do an uninsured motorist claim, you must do 2 things. There must be contact with the uninsured motorist, the vehicle that took off, the hit-and-run vehicle we'll call it, and there must also be a traffic collision report. Of course, you're not going to have the license number because then they'll just track them down and it's no longer an uninsured motorist claim, it's a hit-and-run, which is a felony if there's injuries. So if you're in an accident with someone that takes off, I'm sure there's contact, and make sure you do a traffic collision report. The next type of insurance coverage is called medical payment coverage. Well, most insurance companies don't write medical payment coverage, or called med pay coverage. This covers for any out-of-pocket medical expenses that you might incur after an accident, co-pays or deductibles. It could be $1,000, $2,000, or $5,000. The importance of this, it's not really free money because there's a clause in that insurance contract that the insurance company writes that says if you recover from a third party, the driver at fault, you've got to reimburse your medical payment coverage to your own insurance company. So it might help you pay those co-pays and deductibles in the short term, but when your case settles, you got to reimburse your own insurance company. I would not recommend medical payment coverage. The next coverage that I recommend is called accessory coverage. This covers your helmet and any riding or what they call safety gear. It won't cover your GoPro, It won't cover your iPhone, but it's important because if you're involved in an accident, you get a free helmet, a new helmet, and you get all your riding gear replaced. All you need is two things. You need the receipts. If you don't have the receipts, go online and print out what it's worth, and you need photographs of the damaged property. The next type of insurance coverage is called towing and storage. Again, this is another one I don't recommend. It's where your bike gets towed to a tow yard, but if it stays there, it could go to a lien sale. But usually by the time you get the traffic collision report, you can make a claim to the other side's insurance company and they'll tow it to a fee-free location. I always recommend that if you want to get coverage, just get the Auto Club card that has membership and free towing. In addition, you'll have to pay for your storage, but you'll get reimbursed from the third party, the driver at fault's insurance company. So I don't recommend the cost or expense of towing and storage coverage. And finally, I'm going to give you my 5 best motorcycle insurance companies. Now, this is based on reviews, my 30 years of experience, my being a former Superior Court Judge Pro Tem, and my experience by handling these insurance companies over the years. Number 5, USAA. It's best for military and their families. In fact, it's only for military and their families. Great insurance company. Number 4, Dairyland Insurance Company, also known as Century Insurance Company. They're good for older drivers with safe driving records. I recommend them for my clients. That's what I have. I've been riding for years. Number 3 is Markel, M-A-R-K-E-L Insurance Company. They're the best for liability only. They're the cheapest. They've got good customer service. They're about $50 a month. I like Markel, very good. Number 2 is the Foremost Insurance Company. Why do I like them? Well, they're the only insurance company in California that covers track days. That's how they get number 2. And, drumroll please, my number 1 choice for the best motorcycle insurance company in California is the Progressive Insurance Company. They've got great customer service. They have great commercials. Low rates. I think they're at $55 a month for liability only. They have $250 for lost wages and a 24/7 customer service number with a great app. I highly recommend the Progressive Insurance Company. Now, I'm going to give you one last note. The insurance company that I do not recommend, which I do not believe is biker friendly, and this is not my opinion, it's based on the 2 million reviews of Consumer Affairs, is the Geico Insurance Company. They have a 2.9 star rating, and they are not as biker friendly as they pretend to be.